Let's go and see an amazing WILDHOOD show.
Welcome to the WILDHOOD family, and today we are in the WILDHOOD woods and we're going to look at building a fire and then roasting a marshmallow. Before we pick a site to make our fire, or before we even think about coming in to make a fire, there's three things we need to do. We need to look up, and the reason we're looking up is to make sure that we're not sat under any big branches that could come down and cause us any harm. There's a thing called deadfall, so if branches are caught up in the tree, we don't want to spend too much time underneath that tree. We're then going to look down and make sure that we're not building our fire on any roots or any tracks or anything where an animal lives. And then we need to clear the ground to make sure that our fire is controlled and doesn't spread. When we think of building a fire in a survival situation, there's a number of reasons we may choose to do that. So that could be for boiling water, purifying water. We could use it to signal for help. We could use it to cook our food, keep warm, keep mosquitoes away. For me though, I think that a fire creates a warm sense of happiness. It's a morale booster, and today it's going to create the most important thing in survival that I believe, which is making s'mores. When we build our fire, as we said, we're going to look up, look down and clear the ground. It's all about preparation and our wood selection. So if we think of the wood we're going to go and get, we're going to pick them in three piles. The first pile we're going to get are Matchstick Thickness. Now that thickness. Now when we get our sticks, we need to make sure that they make a clear snapping noise and break clean in two. If they twist at all, it means there's moisture in the wood, and moisture in the wood is not going to burn well and will really slow your fire down. Second thickness we're going to look at around about finger thickness. So these sticks around about the thickness of your fingers. Okay, again we're looking for that clean snap of dead wood. After that we're looking at our thumb thickness wood, okay, around about as thick as our thumbs. That's our three piles. So as I said, the first thing, look up, make sure there's nothing above me. Look down, make sure I'm not setting my fire on roots or a rabbit hole or in the middle of a track. Next, I'm going to clear the ground because I need to make sure that my fire is controlled, that it isn't going to spread, especially if we had a dry few weeks, the leaves, it may spread off on the leaves. Okay, so I'm going to clear it away. Go. Okay, now that I've done that, the ground underneath is wet and damp. So I need to make sure that my fire is slightly off. So I'm going to build a small platform. Okay, that will keep my fire off the ground slightly. Next, I'm going to put things in easy reach. So my matchsticks first of all. Then my finger sticks. And then my thumbsticks. Next, I'm going to use some cotton wool, run that through some Vaseline. Once I've done that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fluff up the cotton wool, working the Vaseline through, and I need to create a larger surface area so that when the spark hits the cotton wool, it will set on fire. I really fluff that up, like so. This bit's the messy bit. There we go. Now using a fire striker, thumb goes into the pad, and the simplest way to do this is to fix the striker and then pull backwards on the steel. Holding your matchsticks over the fire I don't want to dump it on the fire. I'm just going to allow it to start warming up, and we're listening for crackling. Crackling means success. So the matchsticks are now starting to go, so I'm going to hold over some of the finger sticks without interfering them with the fire, but just to start drying them off. And now that's going, I can drop those down and start introducing small bundles of the thumbsticks, placing them at 90 degrees, crosses, basically building a hashtag form. And there we go, one fire. So there's a wonderful theory around fire which looks at how we became the creatures we are through evolution. And it's when we first started to build a fire, it gave us that warmth and security of an evening. So for the first time, we had light of an evening, we had security of an evening, we felt safe and started to become tribes and gathered together. If you look at a fire, you find people will just stare at a fire and instinctively gather around that fire. When we started to communicate as animals, we started to tell stories. So no longer did I have to learn by trial by error. So I knew that red mushroom over there, Dave says, don't eat that red mushroom, it'll make you sick. I don't have to eat that to become sick anymore. So I've learned things through stories. You'll often find when you sit down around a fire, you'll see people will just zone out and stare at a fire as well. And in the woods, we call that bushcraft TV. And many an hour has been spent just staring at a flickering fire. What we're going to do though, is we're going to look at roasting a marshmallow and how to make a s'more. So if you do have the time, you can make your own marshmallow sticks. You're looking for a stick, which is a green stick, thin at one end, a little bit thicker, a little bit of firmness to it, and it wants to be about the length of your arm. You want to just pop the side branches off. And then just sharpen up one end. And then we're just going to pop a marshmallow on the end there, making sure it's nice and secure. Now, I personally don't like to roast my marshmallows until they go black and crispy. I like them to be a golden brown. So to do that, what I'm looking for are the embers and the heat. So I come in from my fire from the back. So if the smoke and fire is blowing that way, I want to come in round this way, just in case the wind does whip up and the fire does come onto me. So with my stick at arm's length, I can start to roast my marshmallow. So I'm trying to avoid setting these on fire, because if I do set it on fire, that becomes molten sugar, which is pretty hot. So once it is a beautiful golden brown, I'm then going to take 2 chocolate biscuits, place it onto one. Whoop. Wrap the 2 over it, like so, squeeze that off, squeeze that between, and then we have a s'more. Lovely.
Let's go and see an amazing wildhood show. Let's go and see an amazing